Abusua ene Sampson of News File. Sampson or host ewo Joy News File so na abusua ne waba abonten aba be kasa na ne waba be kyerɛkyerɛ se mu deep na abusua there is one man after so okatache afrifa expose the fake NDC doctor and sansa deli we there's one man abusua no so ho nsɛm eba beto mu abusua ni PhD a ekita no ya de PhD a fake PhD abusua friend Ibrahim computer Tanko Computer tell you na me new computer ni edin a ono afa to no so say no na ne ma me ne papa de to na say friend computer na abusua school a papa ebe ka kire ye nyina se ono o complete ye no Kingsno University na abusua kohwehwe mu a school bie ni ho a friend Kingsno University NFA ekowie ya afi no makoko create website bi de ho nsem nyina ebre wa okatache free fa be expose ni gidigidi pa na abusua so surprise you say this man is still at post so adwuma o grant interview na no interview ko grant ye no and okodo ebisa no say master there have been so many controversies about your PhD ya ka ho asema hwe animu no papa response or the man Ghana for nyina so no he does not respond to fools and an idiot so no there yeah there's over respond to any idiot as ansem o kan ye and to something say say master giants phone a wood no ya quite comprehensive research who said the university also kunya PhD no enye no kore university no eni ho babia eni babia so wa na makoto university afan enti for fa set bra na o say any one pa se John Mani Mahama sama ho kwama this man as at now or that so ye at post or nam radio station TV station so brage na machra there for 10 years machra there wa half for 3 years enya de tre na wa tre ne here. You are talking about your academic certificate and Sampson. What you have to in same one any easy crown on. We any said be in a course or news file program na some de hon semina ebremo. To measure so beje brain on yakuti in some and watch our no comment section also.
PhDs, conflict of interest. Very exciting to hear the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagwin, support a crusade, long-standing crusade. We have been on for a very long time. You appoint MPs to boards. They go and oversee the boards and come to Parliament to now audit the same boards. What's that? Doesn't work. But let me begin by asking President John Mahama. We understand that, Mr. President, you have been petitioned to dismiss Rashid Tanko Computer. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, the CEO of the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communication, GIFEC, over allegations that he holds a fraudulent PhD from Kingsno University, an institution that does not appear to be accredited. In fact, it appears to be online and may have issued PhD to only this man. He has also, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, has also written to Tanko Computer, directing him to stop using the doctor title due to concerns about the legitimacy of his credentials. President Mahama, we understand, appears to be taking some action. But first of all, not too long ago, I spoke about a certain Dr. Ann Sansadali, with a fake PhD. And President Mahama has demonstrated strong leadership by swiftly revoking Sansadali's board appointment and making it clear that he will not intervene in prosecution of wrongdoers. If he follows a similar approach in this case, he may have to dismiss Tanko Computer from his role at the GIFEC, or how do we call it, to uphold integrity in public office. He may have to order further investigations into the academic qualifications of other appointees to prevent similar incidents, because we are hearing and seeing some people who have PhDs, quote unquote, which are not true. He may have to support legal action if fraud is established, ensuring accountability under Ghana's laws. So, President Mahama, this man is in public office. The BNI, is it, NIB, was supposed to have checked all persons who are appointed. How did that escape anyone? And why can't he, Tanko Computer, simply put out, his thesis topic or even the thesis he did, any graduation, certifications to prove this? Would you want to continue to watch him on the media, insulting people who are questioning him over this obviously fake PhD that he's parading around? And please, colleagues in the media, we also play a crucial role in ensuring accuracy. If Tanko Computer cannot provide credible proof of his PhD, such as his thesis, supervisors, or graduation records, then journalists should reconsider using the doctor title when referring to him. Thank you, Speaker Bagwin.
Let's look at the concept in the Constitution. I listened to the minority leader. Let's look at the concept in the Constitution, where it is Parliament that exercises oversight over all those boards, public boards, and the same members of Parliament go to sit there and then report back to the House, come and participate, and then oversee what they have done over there. The principle of the law is clear. What is not specifically prohibited by the law is permitted by the law. But when it's specifically prohibited by the law, it's caught within that prohibition. And so, I, for example, as majority leader in 2009, when I was offered the position to be Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, I rejected it because I could not subsume the authority of a majority leader, the leader of the House, as a minister to be under the dictates and directive of the executive. So I have always argued against the majority leader of the House, being a minister of state. People disagreed with me, and they continued. Today, I was offered to be chair of the National Health Insurance Authority, as you all know, Speaker's chair. I rejected it because I think it's not proper to go and chair the board, submit reports under the supervision of a minister. The Speaker is now under a minister, and the report will come to the House, and the House will now be presided over by the minister, the Speaker. And I said no. I rejected it. But that's what used to happen. Some of you don't know. That is not proper. You cannot go and chair the boards, the corporations, work over there, submit reports through the minister. The minister submits the report to Parliament. Then you come and preside over those reports and approve or disapprove. Please, issues of conflict of interest, prejudice arise. I have no problem with any member testing the matter in court. That is what the courts are there for. But I'm very clear in my mind that the step I've taken is one of the correct and best steps to enforce the authority of this House, to be able to hold public officers to account to the good people of this country.
And that will be my take. Thank you very much for joining the long-standing campaign that we have been on for so long a time now. President Mahama, don't appoint MPs onto boards. They can't do that. It's wrong. And thank you to Sir Obama of Pokwasi, also for the Dr. Computer. We'll be right back.
Need to look at the issues and situate the expectation from both ends in the proper context so that we do not get situations like the one that we had over the past 12 or so days, which, as far as I'm concerned, was needless. We should never have gotten there. I, in my view, think that government was insensitive. They were just callous. They were dismissive of the issues and nonchalantly handled the entire matter. Not surprising, because they go to private hospitals, right? And when push comes to shove, they are shipped off to Europe to attend better medical services. So the people of Ghana necessarily ought to suffer, and the kind of posturing that you saw government officials put up. Government communicators went out insulting these nurses as if to say they were at fault, when indeed, and in fact, it was government that refused to capture the provisions that have been agreed on as far back as May 2024 in the 2025 budget. It was nobody's fault. And if you listen to the Minister for Government Communication last few days when I heard him on a show with Evans, I was surprised that he says that they were protecting the economy. You put the economy over and above the lives of Ghanaians who potentially can lose their lives when strike actions of this nature take place. Listen to the Deputy Minister for Finance. They cannot accommodate 2 billion. They put the economy in disarray. Seriously? So people should die? Is that what the government of Ghana is telling
retired nurses may help.
Nobody came to.
You're calling on retired nurses to step in when the duty to make provision for these sums. And look, Sampson, many a time we are quick to pass the buck that, oh, it was negotiated by the previous government. What does it mean? Is government not a continuum? Is it a policy that you can elect not to comply with when the government of Ghana has agreed with the nurses that these terms of and conditions ought to be applicable to you? And so really, I think that the posturing of government in managing this whole situation was not done properly. Thankfully, we all have to acknowledge the role that the Health Committee of Parliament, as you know, the stakeholders are all claiming, have done exceptionally well in bringing this matter.
What do you think government can do since they did not capture this in the budget?
They have a media budget coming up. What mattered to them, okay, the compensation budget of the presidency was increased from 300 million plus to 2.7 billion in the 2025 budget. So it's a question of priority. If they prioritize the nurses and midwives, they should have made provision in the budget to ensure that we do not get to this point. But clearly, of no consequence as far as they are concerned. I thought they could treat them anyway, to the peril of people who received services from these health institutions. I think it's very unfortunate. And I don't think that the government was right. They should apologize to the people of Ghana for the way and manner that they've handled this matter. I'm sure people lost their lives during the period that the nurses went on strike. And we cannot, under any circumstances, countenance these matters. Okay? Recall. I'm sure you are very familiar with the phrase, the economy we know how to bring back. But when we lose human lives, we've lost them for good. That was an empathetic decision that the government took at the time when we were faced with the pandemic, that will go to all expense to protect the Ghanaian people. It came with economic consequences. They harped on it and described Akufo-Addo government in words that I'm not prepared to repeat them here. They called the government all sorts of names for taking a decision to err on the side of the Ghanaian, The president was very clear in his mind. He could have also elected that, hey, we do not have any budget for COVID-19 expenditures. And so those who are going to die should die, come hell or high water. But that's not what the response of the Akufo-Addo government was.
But that's an entirely different example.
It's a question of choices.
You've heard that COVID-19 was more or less a blessing in disguise for this country because of the money we got for it.
Of course, we borrowed money to fund COVID-19 expenditures. No,
okay.
We got grants, but we borrowed money to fund COVID-19 expenditures. But if the government takes the position that nurses strike, government not backtracking, we are protecting economy from collapse, then you put in the protection of the economy, the financial cost of paying for what you have signed on over and above the lives of Ghanaians who potentially might die during the period. You think it's right for government to take that position? And I'm asking you, if Akufo-Addo had adopted that same position in 2020 when the COVID issue came up, what would have been our response? Of course, that decision came with economic consequences. It led to the restructuring of our debt. It led to the debt exchange. It led to us going, of course, you can shake your head, but the truth of the matter, or unless, of course, you are not making reference to me. Okay? When that matter came up, we had issues. But if that matter hadn't come up, we probably would have been able to manage our issues better. The energy and banking sector, COVID came to compound it. Okay? But the government, because it was empathetic, took the decision that it was going to put the lives of Ghanaians first. Is that what Mr. Mahama's government has done in respect to this matter?
Right. So as far as you are concerned, this is self-inflicted?
Certainly.
And
because they had an opportunity.
It was a question of priorities?
Certainly.
And therefore they should fix it now?
Certainly.
With the
mid-year review budget. They should. They should make
that comes
provision.
up when? That comes up
in July.
In July?
Yes.
Okay. What do you say, Prof?
Okay, Sampson, thank you very much. And as we talk about public education, among other issues, with all of these issues, and also with, you keep referring to me as Prof, and that may be a bit distractive.
Prof in the classroom, so you doc.
Yeah, because the point is, I come from a different jurisdiction.